You have no idea the trauma that Emily Agreste had to relieve because of her husband Gabriel. And what about the new hero duel that has time and space in the palm of her hands? So grab a snack because in this video I will prove to you that Miraculous Ladybug Season 6 isn't here for jokes. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie and I think that I can't begin this video without talking about the massive connection between Sabrina and Zoe that happened in Daddy Cop. It's a fact that both went through tough situations because of Chloe's manipulation and intimidation, something that really shook their mentals. Do you remember how Sabrina was seen as Chloe's accomplice? And among the fandom, things got worse when she got the dog Miraculous, since now she would be literally Chloe's pet. Luckily, she realizes that on time, that she lived to worship Chloe and did not take care about herself. And on the other hand, when Zoe was introduced in the series, we didn't know that she was another of Chloe's victims, mainly because she was the result of another relation of Mrs. Bourgeois. But now in season 6, both had quite the interaction. And who would be the best person to relate to Sabrina's situation if not Zoe? And now to add more to their connection, everything points that Zoe and Sabrina will become a couple, adding more LGBT characters to the series. And a more than welcome addition in my opinion, mainly if they are done right. I believe that their relationship will have the same development as Amity with Luz Noceda, that started with a simple friendship that leads them to falling in love. I also think that those two will have a discussion about the videos of the old Zoe that Ray has in her cell phone, just like what happened with Amity and Luz in the library episode, when Luz made Amity be banned from the library because of a mess up she has committed. But soon she finds a way to clear the witch's story, and as a bonus, she still gets a kiss from her. I want to see this kind of outcome in their relationship, something romantic and dramatic. And another thing, do you realize that Sabrina and Zoe look a lot like the one of the best couples in Detective Comics, Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, mainly because Ivy and Sabrina are redheads and Zoe and Harley have blonde hair with pink and blue stripes. Would that be a hint for Miraculous Corp that those two will really be a couple and not just friends? Or am I drifting too far? You guys tell me. Till this day, fans comment about what happened in Adrien's amok in the episode We're Papas. Indeed, it was really weird because when Ladybug was afraid of releasing Adrien's amok and killing the sentimonsters she loves so much, in my head it makes sense that the amok had suffered some interference after being akumatized, and that's why it wasn't set free after having the ring broken. And why is that? Because we don't know a lot about amoks, unlike the Miraculous and the Kwamis that had their own comic explanation certain aspects of this universe. But what I saw most people commenting is that the amok itself has some special properties that protect it against some attacks, even from akumatizations. We just don't know yet if that's an ability from the amok itself or it was developed and selected by Gabriel Agreste. Maybe it was Emily who did that, knowing that she always seems to worry about her son. This way, she could secure the boy's lifespan with little to no interruption, like if he was a regular human. And dude, this only shows how powerful, complex, and mysterious the Peacock Miraculous is. And believe it or not, but the relation of Rose and Angelica is really meaningful. And that becomes clearer if we analyze the Chinese Zodiac, where the compatibility between the pig and the tiger is really high, worthy of a marriage. Then I ask you guys, do you really think that Zack didn't know about this? It's obvious that those two are a reference to the link between their Chinese zodiac signs, something that says that their relationship goes far beyond just a friendship, something that is obvious since season 1. But I believe that this 6th one will be a game changer for a lot of people, because once again, there are only couples in the credits of this new season. The exceptions being Kim and Max, and for now, Luka and Alix. But I'll go back to those two. Meanwhile, take some time to comment if you already knew that Rose and Julika were a couple, or if you think that they're just friends. I really want to hear from you guys. We already knew that the Vanily were just small people, and that they didn't care about their daughters, mainly Emily, who were always a free spirit person and didn't care much about her family legacy. And that's why she'd rather stay in Paris with the person she truly loved and not marry whoever her parents choose. The problem is that even away from her parents, suffering was still on Emily's side, since she felt her husband distance from her painfully, reliving her trauma from the past. And what made this feeling get worse was Adrien, who constantly asked her mother if Gabriel, his father, loved him or not, since he lived away from his family, just like his bad grandparents. I imagine that this killed her little by little, and that's awful. And this abandonment cycle was a huge in Agreste family, since Emily felt that from her parents, soon after with Gabriel, and finally Adrien with his dad. Like, I know that Gabriel was seeking a way to cure Emily, but we can notice that as time advances and Emily's condition get worse, Gabriel become ruder and meaner to his son. Maybe deep down, he blamed Adrien for the sickness and death of his wife, even if the real culprit was the peacock pain and not the boy. And maybe that's why Gabriel takes it into Adrien as an inner revenge. What a nightmare. But as if it wasn't enough, Emily truly believed that her parents hated her of how she treated them, always being cold and showing no love, something that had her to her death, sadly. It so happens that this emotional gap only came from her father, Emil, who censored his wife, Millie, all the time, resulting in a completely lack of love in that household, a real prison for the de Vanily sisters. We saw how the Duke treated his wife back in Where Papas. If it was like that with Millie, imagine how he treated his own daughters. That's awful, man. And the way Emil allowed the arrangement marriage of Emily and Cold Phantom, it's possible that the marriage between the Duke and the Duchess was also arranged. What would explain all the mistreatments she suffered in the hands of her husband? In other words, if he didn't love her, why would he treat her well? What a crappy mindset. So guys, don't marry only for money or status. Otherwise, you will live the same hell as Millie after she married Emil. But let's talk about some good stuff, shall we? Let's talk about the idea of Alix and Luka forming a really good duo in season 6. Something that, like, no one was expecting. It's even funny to think that those two never had an interaction in the series. Or did they? Am I just forgotten? If someone know the answer, comment it down below, okay? Besides that, it's worth to mention that those two already know how Ladybug and Cat Noir's secret identities, and that puts them on a spotlight in the series. But what I didn't realize is how both of their Miraculouses are related to time. Seriously, while Bunnix has the power to go back in any period of time, Viperian has the power to the second chance, which allows him to go back in a few minutes in the past as many times as he thinks it's necessary. Talk about an OP duo. They have time and space on their side, and to make things better, these two are more than developed characters in the series. Not only because they know the protagonist's identities, but also because they get the responsibilities that Adrien and Marinette face each day because they are the owners of the strongest Miraculous from the Chinese box together. If you gather them 4 up, we have the Miraculous Fantastic Four. With that, Chrysalida would be shaking on her boots. And there's more. Unlike what people have been saying about a supposed ship between them, I don't think Alix will be Luka's new romantic pair, especially because Thomas have already confirmed for a while now that she is a romantic, which means she isn't attracted romantically for anyone. I'm sorry for their shippers out there, but it doesn't cost anything to dream, am I right? Now you guys tell me, which of these topics caught you by surprise the most? Is there any detail that you want to add? Leave it in the comments. Feel free to share your opinion opinions on the matter. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell button, okay? Thank you a lot for watching this video till here, and hasta la vista!